Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. My friends, is it possible that right now, although Bitcoin has climbed back above 9,000, that this trend is actually looking quite bearish? Let's dive in and analyze. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the action we're seeing inside the chart right now. Of course, as you guys can see here, I do have outlined a potential bearish head and shoulders pattern forming on the Bitcoin one-day chart. Now, this is just one of many things that I'm going to point out here. As you guys would know, I've been bearish since this peak right here. I did wind up shorting all the way down into the $8,000 region, but right now, my friends, you guys would also know, if you are subscribed here, that I was looking for a potential bounce down there around the $8,400 region. In fact, I had even made a video saying, is 8,400 potentially the bottom? And right now we have seen that act as a local bottom, actually bouncing up to above 9,000 from that bottom there. So right now the question becomes, is this little rally potentially running out of steam, or is this going to be the dips of dips before we then wind up continuing higher into a true bull market, in my opinion? So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up, all right? So we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and speculative hypotheses on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. That being said, let's begin right here on the one-day time frame, and we'll begin with this head and shoulders, and then we're going to make a lot more sense of it using, other data here as well, just not this, the pattern. We'll dive right into it. So clearly, Bitcoin right now is in this red box of resistance that I have drawn here. And why is that? Well, back here on our first leg up, it was resistance. Then it back tested after breaking through as new support. And now, right now, we're just creeping back up to that historic range. So we do have two critical touch points here. We're touching into it now. Take it for what it is. It could be a potential local resistance level, but that's not just enough for me right there, right? So now we have to start looking at other things. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. If you'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, here on the RSI, we have already tapped just up into that overbought territory, right? We didn't actually go all the way above 70, but we just tapped it. We've seen in the past that these taps have sometimes led to a bearish rejection, right? And other times we've seen that, they continue up a little bit further, but most of the time historically on this 4-hour chart, Bitcoin has seen dumps in the price action after going into overbought conditions. Past performance does not indicate future results, but we've seen it time and time again that, especially when we mix this into the pot here, coming up upon a large area of potential historic resistance, right? I mean, look at all of that, right? Support now potentially flipping into new resistance. We could see here as well that the 4-hour momentum is starting to potentially, lose some steam here as well. And now we mix this all up into the equation that we could be here in a bearish head and shoulders pattern. Now, these patterns, they don't mean anything until confirmed, right? And the fact of the matter is that the confirmation that traders look for on a head and shoulders pattern is a break of this neckline, right? And for me, that neckline right now also coincides directly with this 0.5 Fibonacci retracement of the macro move here, okay? So from bottom to top here, that retracement is where we actually found the bottom, right around the 0.5. And ironically, the neckline of this upward slanting support of the pattern does happen to coincide right around that level. So in and of itself, losing that level would be bearish, as that is the level that we found the bounce on originally. And here it just happens to be a coinciding confluence that the upward sloping slant of the pattern is actually right around this line as well. So my friends, if we get rejected at this region, I think it's a very blatant confirmation we've been rejected upon historic resistance. We then would see a potential retest down to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. Maybe we find some support down there if we are to dump. But if it falls below there, I mean, this looks to me just like a classic head and shoulders pattern, right? So this could definitely, in my opinion, be the end of this little cycle we had here, right? And we actually, at that point, my friends, in my opinion, would have to start taking into consideration that we're looking more so at a pattern like this that we saw back in 2018. After our blow off top, we wind up having a series of reaction rallies. Every moon boy degenerate and their brother, Kirby, it's the bottom, we're going to the moon, like clowns and degenerates, imbeciles, right? You guys would remember that Don Carbonaccio kept shorting around the $6,000 range, looking to take that trip down into the crypto abyss on the short side. Shout out to my VIPs, one of the most glorious trade setups really that I've ever seen was shorting at that region. And right now, I mean, when you look at this, we had a parabolic run into a blow off top, and to me, my friends, I think it's very possible that if this is to wind up being a failed rally here, right, and that we are pretty much going to see that this bearish head and shoulders winds up breaking to the downside, for me, it's very possible at that point that we could just see months and months of sideways consolidation in here, right? Maybe even forming one gigantic descending triangle with this $6,400 region potentially acting as the short-term bottom there, right? Maybe that we see a bounce back down towards this range, right? Anything like that in here, and potentially form a longer-term pattern. Now, we should all know that the halving is coming up in, less than 3 months' time, estimated, right? And the thing for me here, ladies and gentlemen, is that the halving, we've only seen 2 halvings, right? That's a very small sample size. For me, it's not even remotely close enough to be judging anything. You have to understand that the last halving, Bitcoin, relative to the size of the market cap that we're at now, was nothing. It was next to nothing. And the one before that, if the last one was nothing, the one before that is peanuts, ladies and gentlemen. So for me here right now, there's still problems with the halving. Right? Miners can just shut their machines off if it's not profitable. And this is where all the moon boys get their feathers ruffled. Oh, I understand about the difficulty adjustments, little James. I understand that, there's a number of things that can make the halving bullish. But nobody talks about the things that makes the halving bearish. And why is that? Because it's not the popular opinion, right? It doesn't get the views. And you guys know here, I'm not about the views on this channel. I could care less about some moon boy with $100 worth of bitcoins giving me a like and a sub because I pander to his moon boy hopes and dreams of his $100 turning into $1 million. Sheesh! I come with the realism here on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. And to me, I do believe there's a high probability that the halving could be a non-event. And in fact, I believe that there is still a small possibility that the halving could actually be bearish for Bitcoin if miners start to fall off the network because profitability starts to become a problem. Do not forget that the mining difficulty, the reward, the block reward, okay, is going from 12.5 down to 6.25 coins per block. That means that half of their profit is essentially going out the window, ladies and gentlemen. And as I stated before, please, if you're one of these sticklers here, I understand there's a ton of intricacies that go into it, that they could still be profitable, etc. But you have to understand that the price of Bitcoin, in order for the halving to actually work out, the price of Bitcoin is going to have to continue to appreciate, okay? If the price of Bitcoin does not continue to appreciate on a macro level, the halving, in my opinion, cannot be bullish. The halving would actually be bearish, as it would congregate the mining into only those with a very, very lucrative mining facility, meaning the largest players in the world that are able to still be profitable at very, very difficult profitability margins. And that is not mom and pop. That is not small scale. That is the biggest of big players, okay? And that in and of itself for me would be centralizing Bitcoin, as you would have a very few and select amount of farms really mining this. And it is what it is. We're going to have to see how it plays out. I just really dislike the narrative that the halving has to be bullish. That's garbage. That's so garbage. What other things in this world would you have a sample size of 2 and say, because it happened then, this is going to happen now? And it's completely different, ladies and gentlemen. Like I've stated, the market cap is completely different. We have the futures market now as well. Are you kidding me? None of that existed back in the day. None of it. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, I think that this space to me has been very aggravating as of late, as it really is starting to feel like many in this space just have a coin and a dream. That's not how trading works. That's not how it's been very frustrating, ladies and gentlemen, on my end to basically consume that type of sentiment on a daily basis. It's almost like a toxic thing to me. People don't want to accept the realities that Bitcoin doesn't have to always just go to the moon. We've not even been in a bear market for 3 years, right? Is it not possible that Bitcoin just continues this bear market? I mean, is that not possible? And why would you say it's not? Because of the supply and the demand, Kirby. And get out of here, little James. Do you use Bitcoin for anything, right? Besides trading and speculating upon the price? Bitcoin is essentially a utility token for trading. That's really all it is. It's a utility token to speculate upon price. So the fact of the matter is sure, maybe the halving is bullish, right? Maybe it is. I hope it is. But the fact is that, right? Think about all the other things that were supposedly very bullish, right? Backed. Kirby, when Backed launches, go into the moon. Never went to the moon. Backed came and went, right? Back here, again, it was the futures. Kirby, CME, Kirby, CBOE, futures coming. And then what happened? It was literally the day of their launch wrecked the price, okay? So I'm not ruling it out of the equation here that, the halving date could wind up sticking in a macro top. It just is what it is for me, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, beyond that, I just really went all on a philosophical rant there. But we have to come to the realization here as well that if Bitcoin does get rejected here, this 50-day moving average could start to roll over. We could look for a possible death cross here. It's too early, right? It's too early. I'm just pointing out some signs, right? You guys know that, like I've stated, I was looking for a bounce here, right? Shout out to my VIPs and all. I was looking for this bounce here. Unfortunately, I wound up taking a break-even trade. It's so sick because I literally had the correct level here. I wound up getting stopped out for no loss and no gain here, and it really was the bottom. So right now, my friends, I am looking for this next potential move here. If you do want to see all of my trade setups in real time, I will be keeping you updated in VIP with all of my personal trade setup ideas around the clock. If you want to see that from me, I will see you in VIP right now after this video. Let's get this crypto. But really, that's about it for me here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I was showing you guys this as well the other day. Let's actually go to a fresh chart here. I just want you guys to see that, there is still some type of saving grace here. I mean, if we go here on the monthly, we're going to flip it over to the line chart here. There still could be a potential inverse head and shoulders here, in my opinion, potentially forming here on the monthly chart, right? Definitely still could possibly be bullish here for Bitcoin, but we're going to need to see how this plays out, right? And the fact of the matter is that this neckline is up over 9,600 USD, right? So, I mean, the monthly would have to close above 9,600 for this potential pattern even to have a, confirmation for potential further movement to the upside, right? I mean, there still is definitely some hope here. I'm not saying that this is all over or anything like that. It's just that when you look at this, let's go back to the candlestick chart now. When you look at this, I've just been pointing out, and I think it's very valid, this move here, this parabolic run that we had after forming our triple bottom, inverse head and shoulders on the bottom, right? This upward movement is gone, right? We lost this trend. This trend has completely been lost, right? We've seen that the higher low trajectory is just gone. And right now, just like we saw a staircase pattern up, creating new support on top of old highs, and then it broke, right? Now we started a staircase down, and when we test back up, it became resistance and staircase down. And right now, I think that that's possible to happen there again, right? Doesn't have to occur this way, but, you know, a staircase all the way back down, you know, to levels that we came from would seem quite normal to me, and could start to form that potential, you know, longer term descending triangle type pattern, just like we had over here, my friends, right? Let me turn these moving averages off. Just like we had back here in 2018. To me, it's looking very, very similar here. And if it is to play out like that, I mean, I think that it could be devastating for the price. Now, I'm sure many are going to dislike this video today, ladies and gentlemen. It just is what it is, because they can't handle a realistic technical analysis. So if you understand this, and you understand that I would love the market to be bullish, but I'm going to play it to the best of my ability in either direction, up or down, please give this video a thumbs up. I'm not asking for much. Flush the moon boys out, right? Flush them out. The unrealistic degenerates with $100 worth of corns. Flush them out. Give this video a thumbs up today. And if you're not already, subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. I only post what I believe to be a realistic analysis, okay? And for me right now, I think there are certainly warning signs in the Bitcoin chart. That's it. If we are to break above this level and start to consolidate higher up in the trend, sure, I would love to see that this could potentially flip bullish, right? But for me right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up upon key areas. There is some confluence there with the indicators. We are in a potential bearish head and shoulders pattern as well. You know, it's too much for me to continue to speculate long here. I actually tried a little long position earlier in this trend here today, and I wound up closing for a very, very small profit. Very, very small. So I'm not in a position currently at the time of recording, and right now I'm awaiting my next move, my next entry. So if you do want to see all of my future entries, exits, targets, trade setup ideas, strategy ideas, all of it, I will be posting it all for you exclusively in VIP. Today is the day, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you in VIP right now after this video. Let's get this crypto. And my friends, if you could one last time, truly, if you do appreciate this content here and the realism that most people just can't handle it. I mean, and to each their own, right? There's plenty of channels for other people, right? Not everybody has to like this channel, right? They don't have to. You know, it's too realistic for some. And I get it, right? They want the entertainment value that their $100 could potentially turn into $1 million. I get it. I get it. But here, that's not what this is about. This is about looking for trading opportunities, both to the upside and to the downside, realistic expectations, you know, and looking to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. Let's get this crypto. So, my friends, if you could one last time, moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. Share this video in your chats, share this on your socials with other traders. I think it's important for them to see what's going on here. My friends, I will see you in VIP right now after this video. Let's get this crypto. And until next time, the Don has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.